Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. The St. Lucia Fire Service Department has noted firearm-related incidents are posing a strain on their insufficient resources and manpower. This coming off the weekend from the 19th to the 22nd of July, where 3 firearm-related incidents warranted the attention of the fire service. Assistant Divisional Officer David Antoine provided a breakdown of the incidents.
On Friday, 19th July, at approximately 9:49 p.m., fire officers from the Barbano Fire Station responded to a shooting incident at Labey. On arrival at the scene, emergency personnel assessed and treated a young male for injuries to the leg. He was subsequently transported to the Victoria Hospital for further medical care. On Saturday, July 20th, at approximately 12 a.m., fire officers from the Barbano and Castries fire stations responded to a firearm-related incident at Pave Castries. On arrival at the scene, emergency personnel assessed and treated 4 individuals for bullet wounds to the leg and head. As a consequence, 3 of these victims were transported to the Victoria Hospital for further medical attention.
Antoine says the limited resources of the St. Lucia Fire Service are being spread extremely thin, especially with mass crowd control still being an integral part of their responsibilities.
Firearm-related incidents put pressure on us. Already we have to respond to even all those mass crowd events happening around the island. On Sunday we had Bourgis Carnival. And also at Bourgis, we had a firearm-related incident also. And yes, indeed, and again, knowing that we have a limited resource when it comes to manpower and even vehicles, it would indeed stretch those resources when we have those calls. That could be avoided especially.
Nonetheless, the St. Lucia Fire Service says it remains committed to providing exceptional service to members of the public. The public is collectively trying to wrap their heads around the sudden upsurge in killings following a relatively peaceful period. Some now say it was the calm before the storm. We asked you, what do you think has led to the upsurge in crime? Here's what you had to say.
With the homicides we have right now, I personally believe the problem is within the families and stuff. When I mean the families, like a lot of us, we don't spend time with our children. One, we spend a lot of money equipping our children with technology. I'm not saying technology is not good, like laptops, our phone, and this thing cause a lot of, even when you watch it, and it's very violent, and most of the things that our children we watch at, it causes a lot of threat to society and everything. I personally believe right now, once you take out God among once you take out God from the country, you see those young people does not go to church, they do not pray, the family does not pray, they does not have family, like wake up in the morning and pray and think. I personally believe that once you see the home lack of that, eventually the devil will get hold of it and stuff. I personally believe, even what I think caused a lot of problem too, we do not socialize with our children. For example, the kids' park is no longer there, where families could have socialized and spend time. Because some of us, we work 6-7 days a week. When last we socialized with our child and talk back to our child and have the feelings of our child? So once you do not do that, eventually our children will be destroyed by certain friends in society and stuff. But it's very sad to know that we have a lot of homicide in our country coming up right now. And so very sad.
Some people involved in drugs. Some people, they are drugs dealer and they doesn't pay their bill. And some other people, they want to rob people, no work, they don't have enough jobs in the country. So I think that's how I see it.
Well, honestly, to tell the truth, I don't feel that I have nothing to do with any gangs or anything. That probably was just people that just push speed with one another or something, and hearts get hurt and anger, they just could not control it, and it led to one hurting the other. That is how I think it happened, honestly, to tell the truth. But it's in one week, 4 murders. It might look like it connected or something, but I seriously doubt it might have anything to do with anything. Probably just one person retaliating after another, and it just led to the person dying. And it's a real bad thing for the country, you know, because I think we are doing so good and to hear that I hope it don't go up, but it actually go back down and everybody just take control of themselves.
Long ago, I knew that parents were parents to all children. You understand? As long as you are a father or mother, you had the right to correct any child because you had that permission. That permission was from one another. And then I believe people were a little bit more religious. They were not open to all these things they see on television or whatever it is. So that is why. But we have to be a little bit more religious. And we have to train our children to respect one another. You understand? And we should remember honesty is the best of policy. All these little things. So what do we have to do? We can't just give up. We have to pray, trust in the Lord, and ask God to bless St. Lucia because St. Lucia is best. And that should come down. That crime situation should come down.
I think it's due to the people in society or those engaged in such being frustrated, lack of jobs. You know, it's like the economy is just bent on one set of people getting everything. So the people are fed up, they're frustrated, they don't have means and ways to even access certain things to live comfortably. So you find that some of them, they don't have a choice. But on the other hand, if it comes from the home, as anything else, that's what we will get. So that's just my view on it for now.
Poverty to begin with, lack of education, cost of living is really high. Drugs.
You have treatment, you can't treatment, you can't treatment, probably pay. So therefore, pay me. I trouble like a man. That's all. Ni ba nan yon ka tit la? Ni ba nan yon pase pay and pass it. You pa ka pay and pass it. Ça je ne sais pas. You ba faire la peine nous ça. Ou dit so be salday. Moi ni a tué ka fait des supermarchés, y a mon pétré mon balcon là. Just dis mon na comme ça. Porte vie ba moi souple. Samedi matin moi van en tué. Samedi après-midi, bon, 2 heures, je suis master, je regarde pour tuer, je suis so, je ne peux pas personne tuer. Je ne peux pas jamais pas mentir. Because les gens jeunes, je peux pas mentir. Vous dites ça,
Those were your views. What was initially a very bitter pill to swallow may now taste sweet given that time has passed. After much controversy and opposition, word on the ground is that both vendors and customers have come to enjoy the new location at the old fire service station. That's, of course, for the Castries Market relocation. There is no question that vendors will be relocated to the iconic Castries Market following the redevelopment project to upgrade the market and put in place additional amenities. The temporary relocation, however, was anything but a smooth process, from accusations of a lack of consultation to complaints about the actual site not being suitable or comfortable. Are the vendors in temporary strife? Initially, that seemed to be the general consensus. However, weeks later, many vendors say, surprisingly, customers are growing fond of the location. Vera James says she, like her customers, likes the temporary site.
Oui, achète aussi, mais ici, because je dis par rapport à l'autre senti, ici à Fouet, ici à Belle, achète aussi, mais moi-même, quand, pas parler pour moi-même, moi, quand ici à Congrès.
Vendor Eldrina Alcid says it is still taking some time to get used to, but the move has not been as bad as she initially thought.
The only problem we have with the new market is when you have to cross, especially the elderly, they're having problem to cross because the vehicle, some people don't stop for them. So they're having a little problem. But when they reach inside there, they say they prefer her. Her is very, very nice.
So you're getting more customers are seeing looking for her to the other side?
Yeah, kind of way. Yeah, kind of way. And I myself, I like her. When the wind blows, you get a little fresh air and you see your friends pass and they shout. I like her.
At least one outspoken vendor says her tune is not changing at all. She cannot wait to be gone from the temporary site.
To tell you the truth, the customers prefer on the other side. But they will come here because they have to come, because that's where we are. But as far as I'm concerned, I prefer the other side, because I'm not seeing the customers that I had before. Hardly I see them. So I prefer to go on the other side so I can meet my customers back.
Les Morris and in fact all the vendors are set to be back at the old location in spanking new facilities in a month's time. The Castries Market redevelopment project is supposed to span a 3-month period and encompasses a state-of-the-art food court, high-end air-conditioned restaurants, a craft market, box park, viewing tower, entertainment area, meat and fish depots, duty-free shopping boutiques, and more. Well, voting is over and it has revealed that the majority of vendors have entrusted Peter Ras Iper Isaac to be president of the association once more. In a landslide victory, Iper defeated his opponent Milton Gillette by 57 votes to 8. The outspoken president says this win provides a thrust to ensure vendors' voices are heard and that all outstanding issues are properly addressed. He spoke with Solange Alfred.
Victory belonged to Peter Ras Iper Isaac, who solidified his spot as president of the St. Lucia Craft and Dry Good Vendors Association with an overwhelming win against his opponent during the biannual general meeting of the Vendors Association. Isaac says he is elated the vendors have endowed him once more with this leadership role.
I'm really happy. I feel that the confidence that the vendors have placed have in me is deepened in the sense that most of the time I go unopposed, so sometimes it doesn't give the true reflection of my strength. When you have someone who come up against you, it definitely shows you your strength. And when you have a vote like, let's say 58 against 8 or 7, this is extreme strength, So it gives me that, it encourages me to work even harder for the vendors. It tells me that irrespective of what the detractors are saying, the present serious one is Peter St. Francis, irrespective to what he was saying, and he was not work with the association. He believed that the vendors are not for me, they're against me. I hope he has realized that all these words, you need to eat them back or swallow them back or whatever.
Isaac indicates plans will begin in earnest to meet the needs of the vendors and the association. He says the first step will be to strengthen unity among the vendors.
A lot of damage have been done, especially by Mr. Peter St. Francis, and to create sow discord and spread disunity among vendors. And I think it is going to be a mammoth task for me now to really try to get vendors a little closer together. I think we definitely need to bring a more sense of unity among vendors, to work together, and to some of the actions that have been taken against them is as a result that someone saw a crack and that they just widen it. And so we need to close that gap there in terms of how we look at each other, how we look to work with each other. And I think that's one of the areas I think I need to work hard on.
Is there any chance of burying the hatchet between you and Mayor Peter St. Francis and working in unison for the vendors?
I have no hatchet holding with him, but I think he has one, and maybe I think it's time for him to bury it. I think he started attacking me unprovoked. I didn't say a word to him when he became the chairman of the Castries Constituency Council, and he just started attacking me. He just started by saying they need to get rid of me. He refused to have discussions with me until, I think after some months, some politicians got involved and they said, look, take the olive branch and so on. But that didn't last much, because for a long time, because when he threw the vendors' goods on last year's Mother's Day, again, there we go again. And when we took a stand, we protested against his action. He apologized to vendors and he gave them 2 weeks for reprieve, not having to pay City Council, and that was extended to vendors in the market, the provision market, and the vendors arcade and those on the street as well. So he paid the penalty, the price for it. The actions I took, it shows that it's paying off on behalf of vendors.
Isaac says other areas he looks forward to improving will include constitution governing vendors and vendors' rights, as well as bolstering the executive of the Vendors Association. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solange Alfred.
This is the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Stay with us. We'll be right back.